Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Thanks to everybody who submitted their mailbag questions. Got a bunch of good ones. If you didn't get on this week's mailbag, you can try again next week. Go ahead and get in the comment section and use hashtag Chiefs. Let's start right ahead here. The chaff, I don't know what it is. Let me know using hashtag Chiefs. Do you think Eric Bieniemy will stay with the Chiefs another year? Well, I still think it's less than 50-50, but you never know, right? Like, say only a couple of jobs offer him, and he's like, this isn't the job I'm looking for. Worst case scenario, you could go back to Kansas City and continue to be in a very cushy position and coach the best offense in football led by Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think he's going to have his choice at a couple different jobs this offseason. Quite frankly, he should have gotten a job last season. Andy Reid has been endorsing him for over a year as a head coach in the NFL, and he's ready. He's earned that opportunity, but I do think he's at the stage now where he's like, I can be picky because, hey, worst case scenario, I can hang out in Kansas City, continue to coach Patrick Mahomes, and have a lot of fun doing that. Now, these are the current head coach openings. Atlanta, whereas interim coach Raheem Morris is getting some buzz. Maybe they'll keep him. Detroit, I don't know if you want the Detroit job. Aging quarterback, flawed defense, not much of a running game. I don't know about that. And then the Houston Texans, it's got to be tempting, right? Deshaun Watson, sure, they don't have a lot of draft capital, but an opportunity to coach a really good young quarterback, which he's already proven he can do at a high level in Kansas City. That's the job to watch out for if you're a Chiefs fan, to see if Eric Bieniemy leaves this offseason. Now, these are some other jobs that I think could have some openings. Obviously, the Jets are going to be open. Denver, producer Sam is tired of Vic Fangio, so that could be an opening in the AFC West as well. Jacksonville, I don't think he'd leave for the Jags job, just like I don't think he'd leave for the Jets job. The LA Chargers, I think that is I think that's an intriguing possibility. Anthony Lynn, I think, will get another year, but maybe he won't. We already talked about the Jets. He ain't going there. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, they're the wild card. Could Doug Peterson get canned by Philly? We will have to wait and see. Now, we all love Eric Bieniemy, and we're going to wish him well regardless. But if you want him back next season, like this video. I want 500 plus likes on today's show. Our last 7 videos have averaged like 300, which it's fine. Those are kind of rookie numbers, though. Let's get 500 likes on today's show. And hey, if you like Eric Bieniemy and you want him back, just hit that thumbs up icon. I would greatly appreciate it. Next up on our mailbag, Naveen Sports Quarter. Since we're in need of a linebacker, why don't we sign Vontaze Burfict? Because he's been suspended like 8 times and is getting a little bit older, and I don't know if he's the guy you want to bring into your locker room. Look, Vontaze Burfict has some talent. There's no doubt. Played okay in his 4 games with the Raiders last year before, yes, a season-long suspension once again after cheap-shotting Jack Doyle. He's just got a reputation now for being a dirty player. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He headhunts. He's just done all kinds of stuff in his career. Now, he's only 29, 30 years old, so he's still young enough, but I just don't think this is a guy that the Chiefs are going to mess with at this point, which is a shame for him that he can't get a spot in the NFL because he's productive when he's out there. He's a good linebacker. Now, the linebacker position has evolved. He's not great in coverage, so how much value does he have? I don't know, but he's definitely talented enough to be on a team, but the rap sheet is what it is, right? Like, and I'm not going to read all these out, but the amount of times that this guy has been either suspended or fined is ridiculous. That's why it's 4 different graphics for you guys here on screen over the past, 5-6 years here. He's just done a lot of stupid stuff, and he, once you build that reputation, it's kind of the same for Ndamukong Suh, right? Like, if he roughs the passer, everybody assumes it's a dirty play, and that is the truth for Vontaze Burfict as well. Whether it's true or not, that is what we all believe. He took PEDs as well. Like, he's done a lot of stuff that will make franchises pause if they want to give him a chance. And look, Kansas City has proven, like, hey, we'll bring guys on board. Like, Le'Veon Bell had some baggage. They brought him on board. Like, they're willing to take a swing, but this is another level of baggage because one questionable hit, and he's going to be suspended for the rest of this season. Now get your votes in. Would you take a chance on Vontaze Burfict? I know linebacker's a position of need, but the rap sheet is what it is. The baggage is very, very long, so just get your votes in. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Would you take a chance on the troubled linebacker? Get your votes in the comments section. Now, today's show is presented by BetUS, the #1 sports betting partner available. All you got to do, and this is for you Chiefs fans only, go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet and use our promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. I've made a bunch of money this offseason. Producer Sam he needs to call 1-800-GAMBLER. He's been losing lately, but it's fun. You get that bonus. It's a lot of fun. And then maybe you're a little worried about gambling, right? You're like, what if I don't bounce back? How about a free jersey for you new customers only? Now, this only applies for new customers. If you've already gotten going with BetUS, we appreciate you guys who have. But if you haven't already, sign up, deposit, place that first bet, and then email us, chiefs@chatsports.com, to redeem, and we will hook you guys up with a brand new Chiefs jerseys. Tons of them are available, including the ones you see on screen. So get going at chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, and then email us, chiefs@chatsports.com, for you new customers, and we will hook you guys up with a brand new Chiefs jersey. All right, Taylor Gant is up here. Another EB question. I want Bieniemy to stay. So what would be an appropriate amount of money to get him to stay? I can't think of anyone better to succeed Andy Reid. Now, look, we would all like Eric Bieniemy to be the heir apparent, right, to take over. But Andy Reid's not going anywhere. So if you're Eric Bieniemy, are you going to stick around for 5, maybe even 10 years? Reid just signed a fat new extension. Like, I'll say this, I'm willing to pay Eric Bieniemy at $3+ million to stay as the offensive coordinator, and I think that he would be an excellent guy to take over one day. But we've seen in the past, and especially at the college football level, the whole coach in waiting thing doesn't really work out, because what happens is these coach in waitings, they end up waiting forever, and then they just have to take a different job anyway. So at the end of the day, it's just not the best opportunity for Eric Bieniemy, because he may just have to wait forever. I'm willing to pay him a lot to stay, but I don't know if it's going to happen in the end. Now, if he doesn't get the job offer he wants, I can't even talk today. He may come back. I'm tired. It's been a long day at the office. Do you want Eric Bieniemy back next season? We asked you this before. I need 500 likes on today's show. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Look, if we get 500 plus likes, that speaks for itself. That means you guys want EB to return like I do. Keaton Ward, next up on our mailbag on today's show. How do you address the lack of pressure from the defensive line, specifically Frank Clark and Chris Jones? Yeah, we've talked about this recently a couple of times. These two got to be better. You've paid these guys major money, over $20 million each per season. This isn't enough production. 9.5 sacks combined in 11 games. I need to see more. This is just simply not good enough for your two high-paid pass rushers on this defensive line. And look, it's got to improve. You've invested a lot here. The Chiefs have been willing to pay guys, but you got to produce when you're paid that much. And these two guys haven't been consistent enough. So hopefully they can ramp it up soon, because the playoffs are just around the corner. Now, who do you guys think is the better player? I think this is fairly obvious, but I'm curious what you guys think. Type CJ for Chris Jones, type FC for Frank Clark. I believe it's Chris Jones, and I'm not convinced it's that close, but I'll let you guys answer down in the comments. Blake Davis, should we sign Cam Wake to add more depth, as we just talked about the pass rush situation? Cam Wake is obviously I think he's probably going to the Hall of Fame, but he's also 38 years old. Really nice story. Making it is, I believe, a UDFA or a late-round pick, and now over 100 career sacks. Hasn't played this year. Hasn't completely shut the door on playing in the NFL, but he's 38, not sure how much is left in the tank, but a great career he's had. Hell, bring him in for a workout, because this list is not that pretty if you're Kansas City, because we just talked about Jones and Clark. Taco Charlton, who basically hasn't played in over a month, 2 sacks, and he's third on the team. That's a bit of a problem. Michael Dana with 1.5, and then Passanio, and plus like 5 other guys have a sack as well. But only 2 guys with more than 2 sacks. That's a little bit concerning for a team that was able to get after the quarterback pretty consistently last season. Get subscribed to the Chiefs Report and turn on those notifications, because we're plugging out videos almost every single day. We cover the latest Chiefs news and rumors. We do weekly mailbags like this. Hashtag Chiefs in the comments, like I said. Share that link below. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Send it to all of your Chiefs buddies. Turn on that notification bell after you subscribe. That way you never, ever miss a video here on the Chiefs Report. Cultural Sage, this year's free agency, who do you think we will keep and who do you think we will waive? Well, you won't be waiving anybody because once they're free agents, you just let them go. It would just be you don't bring them back. We've talked about this list a couple of times. These are kind of the key guys. Obviously, there's more free agents than the 10 I'm going to show you. These are 5 offensive guys. I'd be shocked if Le'Veon Bell's back. I think he'll want to try and be a starter elsewhere. It's clear Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the starter here. Watkins and Robinson. I'm guessing one of those guys comes back. Probably more likely that it's Robinson because he'll be cheaper, but we'll have to wait and see. Colecchio Simile, do you bring him back? Does Laurent Duvernay-Tardif come back after opting out this year for COVID? We'll see. The Shermanator, I'm sure he'll be back on a cheap contract. Defensively, these first 2 guys I'm keeping an eye on, Charvarius Ward and Bashad Breeland. Do you bring back one or both of these corners, or do you roll with like a DeAndre Baker and L'Jarius Sneed combo? We'll have to wait and see. Damian Wilson, do you bring him back? He's kind of getting older, hadn't been the same guy. Dirty Dan, I'd love to see him back, but I think a lot of teams will have interest there. And then Tano Passanio, a guy who kind of broke through last year but hasn't done as much this year, so curious to see what the Chiefs do on his front as well. Now, name a player you guys want the Chiefs to re-sign in 2021. Do you want Sammy Watkins back, Le'Veon Bell, someone I'm not thinking of? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Name a player Kansas City should re-sign next season. And I think there's going to be a lot of options there and a lot of maneuvering because the Chiefs have spent a lot of money, so they got to figure out, okay, which guys are critical to us staying in our contract windows or in our championship window with our current salary cap hit. So we'll just have to wait and see. Remember to take advantage of the jersey deal with BetUS. You new customers, email us, chiefs@chatsports.com once you get going with BetUS. We'll hook you guys up with the free jersey. We'll see you soon. Go Chiefs. Big game on Sunday.